Alrighty, so we are back, and today we are going to be talking about the Kaioken Blue Goku and Pure Progress Hit banners. Now, I'm sure most of you guys know who's on the banners, but in case you do not, I will go over them very quickly here. Looking at the Kaioken Blue Goku, the heavy hitters of this banner, we've got our boy Kaioken Blue Goku, the Super Easy A, which has already been confirmed for Kaioken Blue Goku, the banner unit Piccolo, Glorio, and Int Fat Buu here. An okay lineup, right? But nothing too crazy, right? No heavy hitting LR being shown on the art is not a good sign for when the actual banners are going to be in game. So right off the bat, that's already going to kind of be like a yellow flag, if you will. And then looking at the hit banner, we have the counterparts to basically everybody here. Except for Kale and Khalifa, they don't really fit as a counterpart for anybody, but this just means that they 95% gonna easy A, 99's a little aggressive, I think, but it's pretty damn likely, right? So that is why we are here today. The answer is going to be, should you be summoning on these banners or not? Now, you guys know how I like to format these videos. This will be live before the banner goes live, about an hour and a half or so. So just keep that in mind. I always like to sort of see things from both sides when we go into these should you summon videos, right? I don't want to just sit here and be like, no, you're an idiot if you summon. This is a bad idea. Never do this unless it's a legendary summon. But when it comes to dual Dokkan festivals, we do have to be a bit more considerate, right? We have to think about these things from both sides. So the first thing I'm going to do is make the case for why you should summon. And if you're not interested in that and you want to hear why you shouldn't summon, then that will be the second portion of this video. So as long as we are both on the same page, let's go ahead and get into it. So you are somebody who's thinking you're on the fence and you're leaning towards summoning. I will tell you why I think you should summon. You should summon on this banner because the game has been quite boring lately, if I'm being honest. There hasn't been a ton of fun stuff to do. The characters releasing have not been phenomenal. We saw the Dokkan Festival Cell, who did not really move mountains. Saiyan Day was a good time. How do I already forget who Saiyan Day was? It was Kid Goku. So Kid Goku, again, wasn't a heavy hitter. Unfortunately, they did not choose the moment that people were looking for, and that is not to speak poorly on anybody who wanted the... who likes that Kid Goku or was excited for it, but I'm just talking from a general consensus and what I've seen from not only video performance and just overall community interaction. It just speaks to like the lack of a top grossing during Saiyan Day and stuff like that. It just kind of speaks that way. So if you're somebody who's been like waiting for something to summon on, you've been bored with the last two releases, hopefully, or the last two major releases being Cell and that Kid Goku, hopefully this is sort of the happy medium where you're like, okay, here's a dual Dokkan Fest with two characters I really like. They both seem pretty good, and it's going to be a dual Dokkan Festival with the buy three, get one free. I think that that is a pretty decent case for you to say that I want to summon. Now, looking individually at the characters, I think that this Goku is pretty impressive, and Hit is also going to look very good, right? Don't really have too much of a problem. Kaioken Goku, the main thing that kind of drives me a little bit crazy is the sacrifice of HP on the super attack, right? 10% is not good, considering that we are going to be getting a guaranteed additional super attack right here if we do get those 10 key spheres. So that's just a lot of HP that you're sacrificing, especially in a game where normals can potentially tag you, and supers are going to take you from 0 to or from 100% HP to 0. It's not going to be good foregoing potentially 70 to 80,000 HP per super attack. Just not overall very healthy for, no pun intended with HP, but just not the most healthy thing for you. So that is sort of the drawback, but overall, I think both of these characters are very good, and the banners are not like horrendous. I will say that neither of these banner units are really like jumping off the page to me. Piccolo can look extremely impressive. This Kaioken Blue Goku's Super Easy A looks pretty good, right? Glorio is still insane. Like, I like this banner better than I like this banner, because I prefer Glorio to Goku. I prefer the Super Easy A to this Easy A so far, and I prefer Piccolo to Magetta right here. Now, this is just going to come down to personal preference. Both of these, Super Saiyan 3 and Majin Buu, both work pretty well on the in short content, but for long form content, not great, right? Because Goku's damage reduction wears off, and Buu only gets one Ghost Usher. So, you know, it being a dual Dokkan Fest, a fun time of year, I think that does incline for a pretty fun time summoning. And if you are somebody who is on the fence and you don't want to go all in on this banner, I'd say that is probably the healthiest approach. Just sort of going back and forth, maybe one rotation on each banner, stop after 300 stones, evaluate where you're at, or if you get lucky on this banner and pull the new Goku in one multi, just forget about the free multi and just go to the other banner. I think that is going to be the healthiest way to go about it if you're somebody who doesn't really want to go deep into the banner, but you still want to summon anyway. So that is the case for if you should summon. Now, let's get into the appeal of why you shouldn't summon. I think it'll be a little easier to go over this one. Now, this is not going to change my opinion on either one of these characters. I think they are both very good. The issue for me is that I don't see too much value on either of these banners. This Kaioken Blue Goku, if you're an endgame player especially, there's a very good chance that you already have a copy of him, and the same thing could be said for this Kale and Caulifla. You've definitely seen them before. These Golden Week characters like to find themselves on banners a lot, and I don't think that this hit and Goku are really going to be moving the needle for you in terms of like all of the endgame content and your best teams, right? You can absolutely run the best teams in the game without Hit and Kaioken Blue Goku. There's really no reason to go all in on either of these banners, or really, like, you really could just get away with not summoning at all. Now, when it comes to the Daima setup, it's still going to be a bit interesting to see how things go. I think Glorio, if you want to obtain Glorio, I think this is a good time to use some of your red coins, right? 300 or 400 red coins on a TUR, the quality of Glorio. In my opinion, that is basically what coins are for, right? To pick up characters like this. Because you could say like, oh, during Tanabata, LRUI Goku's going to be there. Or during Tanabata, the banner with the 10-year anniversary LRs, the Dokkan Fest is going to be there, right? But if you're playing this game from the lens of like, should you summon videos and being as responsible as possible with your stones, this would mean that you've likely taken the approach of spending as many stones as you could on those banners, and hopefully you do have them. But if you are in a situation, and with the pity that they're not the pity, but the wish that they did this year. So if you are missing Gogeta or Vegito, I'm not going to point the finger and say it's on you, but there was definitely there's a decent chance that almost everybody watched this video that played during the anniversary is going to have one of these characters, right? If you join a little bit late, I'm sorry to hear that, but that potentially could be a chance for you to use your coins. But when it's coming down to Super Vegito and Glorio, I'm sure all of you are going to be picking Super Vegito for your coins if you're missing both characters. But if you are somebody that still wants Glorio, I think this is a good time to coin, because you don't want to have to go into a banner like this where you could potentially just keep summoning and pulling copies of Fat Boo, and then whatever else they toss on the banner. There's a good chance we see 23rd World Tournament Goku as well as Junior on here. Well, I'm sure a lot of you have pulled a lot at this point. So that is sort of where we are at, right? When it comes to this banner, Daima Goku, again, could be a decent coin pickup if you want to use them, but I just don't see it being too worth it to go like way into either of these banners. And I think that you have better things going for you in the future. So when we look at a banner like this, it's just like, if we compare it to what's coming, right? So if you guys don't know, I'll probably make a video like what is the rest of the year more than likely going to look like. But what you guys need to know, the essential information here is there's going to be a part 2 LR after this. Absolutely don't summon on that. It's going to more than likely be a legendary summon. And then it's going to be a bit of a wait until we get to Tanabata, which is at the end of June. And that is when we are going to be getting a new Dokkan Festival LR introduced, and this is going to be a much more valuable banner than the two that you're looking at on the screen right now. So overall, I think it is in your best interest to not summon on this banner, but that is going to conclude it for this section. So overall, that is the case for, that is the case against, and now my kind of final verdict here. If you were to ask me, should you summon on this banner, I would tell you guys no. I don't think these banners are worth your stones because there's just more valuable stuff in the year. TURs are great, but the thing is, the way the Dokkan works these days is really is an LR's world. There are good TURs. I'm not going to say that these characters are bad, but are they to the point where you need to be using your stones that you could be saving for something a lot more valuable? I don't think it's worth it. If you want to potentially try a little bit, right, like do a rotation on maybe each banner, especially if you're a newer player, I think that is just fine. But I would just wait, right? These guys are going to be coming back later on in the year, and you don't need to force it. I do believe they rerun during the worldwide download celebration, right? So they are going to be back in August. So you don't need to force it right now. I promise you that like the game is going to slow down again after this more than likely, so you were not going to be feeling the impact of No Hit or Kaioken Blue Goku very much. So unless they're your favorite characters, this is your apex of Dragon Ball Super and you feel like you absolutely need them, I think it is in your best interest to not summon on this banner. But let me know, as I asked you guys yesterday in the video, what is your plan to summon? Are you going to be going all in on these banners when they drop? Are you going to just be doing a multi, seeing where you're at and then leaving? What is your plan? I would love to know in the comment section below. As always, thank you guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Let me know in the comments what type of videos you guys would like to see. I always appreciate your input and ideas. It helps me make the best content possible for you guys. So thank you for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you are new. And I'll see you all in the next one.